In the heart of the African savanna, nestled between towering baobab trees and the serenading hum of crickets, there was a small village called Ntembe. Ntembe was a land of fertile soil and rich crops, but more than anything, it was a land of ancient wisdom and stories that carried the spirit of the ancestors. Every rock, river, and tree held a tale, passed down from the elders and carried in the whispers of the wind. Among the people of Ntembe lived a young woman named Nyama, whose beauty was like the full moon on a cloudless night, radiant, graceful, yet mysterious. Her heart, however, held a deeper beauty. She was known throughout the village not only for her kindness but also for her wisdom. Despite her virtues, there was one shadow that loomed over her life. Nyama could not bear children. In a time when children were seen as a blessing and the continuation of one's lineage, Nyama's barrenness was a source of sorrow. Though her husband Kweku loved her dearly and assured her that he needed no children to feel fulfilled, Nyama couldn't help but feel the weight of the village's silent expectations. The older women of the village would often glance at her with pity or whisper among themselves as she passed. One fateful evening, as the golden sun sank behind the horizon and the night animals began to stir, Nyama wandered to a hidden grove deep in the forest. It was a place she often visited when her heart was troubled, a sanctuary of ancient trees where time seemed to stand still. In the center of the grove was a large baobab tree with roots as wide as a river, and under its shade was a sacred stone, a relic from the ancestors. She knelt by the stone, her tears falling onto the earth as she prayed to the spirits of the land and sky. Great spirits, I have done all that I can, but I am empty. Give me a child, even if just one, to fill this void in my heart. The wind rustled through the leaves, and for a moment, there was silence. Then, as if the earth itself had stirred, the stone began to glow with a faint, otherworldly light. Nyama gasped and stepped back, but her curiosity kept her rooted in place. Suddenly, a soft, melodic voice drifted through the air, as if carried by the wind. Nyama, daughter of the earth, your prayers have been heard. But the path you seek is not the one you imagine. Startled, Nyama looked around but saw no one. Who are you? She whispered, her heart pounding in her chest. I am the spirit of fertility, the voice replied, still soft yet resonating with power. You wish for a child, but the gift I shall give you is not one of flesh and bone. Instead, you shall birth something far more precious, something that will bring prosperity and wonder to your village. Nyama, though filled with awe, was confused. But how can I bring forth something more precious than a child? You will see, the spirit said. When the moon is full, return to your home, and there, in your quietest hour, you will know what to do. Before Nyama could ask any more questions, the light from the stone dimmed, and the voice faded into the rustling of the wind. Left in the dark silence, Nyama felt both anxious and curious. She returned home, her heart beating with a mixture of fear and excitement. The days passed slowly, each one filled with whispers and silent prayers from Nyama as she waited for the night of the full moon. When the moon finally rose, it was like a glowing lantern in the sky, illuminating the village in soft silver light. That night, as Kweku slept beside her, Nyama felt an odd sensation in her belly, a warmth, a fluttering. She rose quietly, tiptoeing to a secluded corner of their hut. The sensation grew stronger, and before she could comprehend what was happening, Nyama gave birth, but not to a child. She gasped in astonishment as she looked down to find an egg, smooth and round, lying in her hands. The egg was no ordinary egg. It shimmered with a faint golden hue, as if the moon itself had kissed it. Confused but compelled by an inner instinct, Nyama wrapped the egg in soft cloth and placed it in a basket. The next morning, she awoke with a sense of awe, staring at the egg that now lay beside her. Kweku, noticing her strange behavior, asked, "What is this, my love?" "An egg from the gods." "I do not know," Nyama whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. "But I feel that this is what the spirit of fertility meant." Over the next few days, Nyama guarded the egg closely, unsure of what to do. Then, as dawn broke on the third day, the egg cracked open, revealing another egg inside. But this egg was different. It sparkled with even more intensity, and its color had deepened to a brilliant gold. Unsure of the meaning behind these events, Nyama took the new egg to the village marketplace. She had an urge, almost a calling, to sell it. As soon as she arrived, the market was abuzz with curiosity. People gathered around her, murmuring about the strange egg in her hands. A wealthy merchant approached her. "That is no ordinary egg," he said, his eyes gleaming with desire. "I will pay you 10 times its weight in gold for it." Nyama, astounded by the offer, accepted. The merchant handed her a heavy pouch of gold coins, and she, in turn, handed him the golden egg. News of this extraordinary transaction spread like wildfire through the village, and soon, everyone was talking about Nyama and her mysterious eggs. As the days passed, Nyama continued to give birth, not to children, but to eggs. Each one more extraordinary than the last. Some were speckled with silver, others glowed with a soft blue light, and each time she brought an egg to the market, it fetched a higher and higher price. Soon, Nyama and Kweku became the wealthiest people in the village. Their once humble home was now adorned with fine fabrics and intricate carvings, and they were able to help those in need. Yet, despite her newfound prosperity, Nyama could not shed the strange emptiness that lingered in her heart. One night, as she sat by the fire, she whispered to Kweku, "I have everything I could ever want, yet I still feel hollow. These eggs, as beautiful and wondrous as they are, do not fill the space I thought they would." Kweku, ever wise, placed a hand on her shoulder. "Perhaps the gift you were given was not meant to fill that space, but to show you something greater." Nyama pondered his words but could not understand their full meaning. Days turned into weeks, and though she continued to birth these miraculous eggs, she began to feel burdened by them. The more she produced, the more the villagers clamored for them, and the more pressure she felt. One evening, as she returned to the sacred grove where it had all begun, she knelt once again by the ancient stone and cried out to the spirit of fertility. "Great Spirit, you have given me wealth and prosperity, but my heart is still heavy. What must I do to find peace?" The wind stirred once again, and the voice of the Spirit spoke. "Nyama, you have misunderstood the gift I gave you. It was never meant for you alone, but for the people. You were chosen to bring forth abundance not for personal gain, but to share with the world. Nyama's heart ached with realization. She had become consumed by the material wealth her eggs had brought, forgetting the true purpose behind the gift. The spirit continued. Tomorrow, return to the marketplace. But this time, give the eggs freely, to those who need them most. Only then will you find the peace you seek. The next morning, Nyama returned to the market with a basket full of her eggs. As the villagers gathered around her, eager to buy, she stood tall and spoke with a clear voice. Today, I give these eggs not for gold, but for love. Take them, share them, and may they bring you joy and abundance. The villagers were astonished but deeply moved by her generosity. As they took the eggs, something miraculous happened. Each egg hatched into a small, radiant bird, and wherever the birds flew, they brought blessings, healing to the sick, food to the hungry, and peace to the troubled. Nyama watched in awe as the village transformed before her eyes. For the first time since her gift had been bestowed, she felt the emptiness in her heart begin to fade. She realized that true abundance came not from hoarding, but from sharing. From that day on, Nyama became known as the Egg Mother, the woman who birthed eggs that brought life and blessings to all. And though she never bore children of her own, her legacy lived on in the hearts of the villagers, who told her story for generations to come. And so, the tale of Nyama, the egg mother of Ntemb, reminds us that the greatest gifts are not the ones we keep for ourselves, but the ones we give to others.